people. Yo, yo.
Yo.
All right, we live, brother. We live. We'll get with the people in a minute. Welcome to the Hierophant Podcast, everybody. We'll be with you in a minute. Yo.
Yo.
What's up, y'all? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hierophant Podcast. I'm your brother, Steve, and we got my brother,
OG Reynolds in the house. What's going
OG
on?
Reynolds in the building.
What's
What's happening? We waiting on our other co-hosts, Lady Liz and Keish, to get in. Hopefully they'll be here soon. So, brothers and sisters, we got a pretty good show here tonight for you all. And we're going to be talking about some pretty serious things here, all right, on tonight's show. But for those of you who are here for the first time, it's your first time seeing this, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Tap that notification bell so you'll be notified.
Get the thumbs up, y'all. Don't forget the thumbs up.
When we put up live videos and pre-recorded videos, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell and give us the thumbs up. That's called the like. Give your brothers here at the Hierophant Podcast, brothers and sisters, the thumbs up. Hit the like button, y'all. All right. So tonight's show, we're gonna start out, y'all, with a subject that's very concerning for me, due to all the crime that's happening in our streets with our youth. You know, it's just it's disheartening to see what's happening out here with our youth. They're killing themselves, shooting each other down with this gang banging and all of this stuff. And, you know, they're going into the penitentiary left and right, and they're going into the graves. And a lot of people out there are happy about this, and they're making a lot of money from it. They're very sinister people, and we're talking about the powers that be behind this engine called hip hop and the way it exists today. There's some very selfish people out there that are in control of this mechanism called hip hop, and they're making a killing off of our kids out here partaking in this demonic culture and losing their lives and their freedom every day due to what's being pushed by the powers that be in this thing called hip hop today. So give me a little minute. We're going to get to it. Let me just take a sip of my little juice here. And we definitely going to get to it. Okay, so first of all, how you feeling, OG? Talk to us, man. How you feeling today,
man,
brother?
I'm all right, man. You know, I'm great, man. I could be doing better. I'm blessed to be here. You know, another good day, be on the podcast.
No doubt, brother.
Say holla out to my Harlem worlds. You know what I mean? Harlem love to everybody.
Harlem.
Man, you know.
Bronx, what up?
No I mean, we're gonna do this, baby.
No doubt. Shout outs to Far Rock, Queens, man. My hometown. That Far Rock / BX connection.
Man, shout out to Buffalo and Rochester, man.
Shout outs to Brooklyn. Shout outs to Staten Island. Shout outs to Manhattan. You got Rochester. Shout outs to Philadelphia, man. You know what I mean? Let me see what the comments is looking like. All right. Shout outs to Philadelphia. Shout outs to Jersey, Delaware, Phoenix, Arizona. Shout outs to all of those people in all those states, man, that rock with us. The Hierophant Podcast, those who can't pronounce the name of this podcast, is called the Hierophant Podcast. And the word Hierophant just simply means a source of knowledge. And I'm hoping that that's what this podcast can be or can serve as. All right. So I want to jump into this segment and get this thing going. And a lot of you have already seen this video. This comes from a brother named Crazy Bone, who was down with Bone Thugs and Harmony. And I know a lot of people covered this video, talking about it, but I wanted to cover it as well because I feel that this is very relevant document. You know, very relevant. And this brother, Crazy Bone, has a letter from someone who was in the music business, who had a conscience, right? And they were invited. He worked for the record label. Maybe he was like something like a CEO or something, but he worked for a record label. Okay, DMR said, "What's up, DMR? How you, man?" No doubt. So this brother, this man was working for a major record company, and he talks about a time when a secret meeting was called by the powers that be in the record industry, the music industry. They called a secret meeting, and that meeting was designed to take the heads of the record companies and have them stir hip hop music in a different direction, in a more
Right,
sinister and evil
right,
direction,
right.
right?
You create corruption.
That's right. So, okay, that's what's up, DMR. She said, "I'm good, bro." He said, "I'm good, bro. I didn't forget y'all. No doubt, my brother. No
Yo,
doubt,
what's up, DMR? Yo, what's good with you, brother?
no doubt." So these sinister people called this meeting, and they wanted to talk to the record labels, right? And they proposed to them they gave them a proposition. They wanted them to have hip hop go in a different direction by highlighting and promoting gangster music, gangster hip hop. Now, why would they want to do that? Because these people, these very powerful people, they had invested in the prison industry where they had put their money into a whole lot of private prisons. They were building private prisons all across the USA. And so they propositioned the record companies and said, look, if you guys take hip hop and you steer it in a negative and evil direction, right?
Right.
And there he is. What's up, DMR?
DMR,
Hey,
what's up,
what's
baby?
up, brothers?
Ain't nothing
Going
much,
on,
man.
man?
Hanging in there, no
How
doubt.
y'all doing, man? What's
All
happening?
right, man.
Hanging in there, bro.
OG, the brother Steve, what's
Yes,
going
sir.
on?
Hanging in
See
there,
you
my
in a
brother.
minute,
Good to
boy.
see you, man. Good to see you. No
I'm
doubt.
chilling, man. I'm chilling, you know.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, man. But we talking about tonight the wickedness of the music industry, and we're saying
Okay.
that hip hop has a much more sinister message to it behind it
Right.
than we know. So we're talking about this secret meeting where some very rich and powerful people came to the record labels and persuaded them to take hip hop and put it in the direction of gangster music, right? So the Queen Latifahs and all these rappers that were conscious, so to speak, back in the day, you won't hear from them anymore. That's why they seem to have fallen off into the abyss. We wonder what happened to Chuck D and Public Enemy. We wonder what happened to
Right,
the MC
right,
Light
right.
and Queen Latifah's, everybody that was putting out that positive music. What happened to them? They seem to have fallen off the abyss, but it was a sinister plan by very evil and sinister people, which stepped to the record companies and propositioned them,
KRS-One.
yes, a proposition them to buy shares in a private prison complex. In return, they have to promise to only sign rappers and artists that would push gangster music
Right.
Mm-hmm.
into the ears of the youth. And this brother on the screen, Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony, had the heart to get up there and share this information with us. I believe this came out a year ago. Our other colleague, Big Keish, she found this. She sent it to me, and I said, "This is gold because this is what I want to project off to the people to tell you about this hip hop in the state that it is in now and why it's like this. Why is this hip hop allowed to be pushed on our youth when it's talking about killing and gang banging and taking people out of here? Why do they continuously allow this? The record companies allow this hip hop to be pushed, and we understand it now. I always guessed it and I thought about it in my mind, but now I see it and I know it to be true. So what I want to do now, before we get into the video, we're going to analyze this video because I want the audience here to stay with me. The people who will see this later, stay with us. This is very important, especially if you are single parents raising children out there and you care about your kids, stay with us. Stay with us. Hey, okay, what's up? We got a guy that says, Lenny Bradley, great topic. Thank you, brother. All right. So we're going to get to this. But before we do this, I would like to say this. I'm gonna give you a story about a rabbi, OG, and DMR. There's a rabbi. He was the head rabbi in Cuba, the country that
Right.
Fidel Castro was president in, right? So
Right.
the thing that was strange about this rabbi is that he was the leader of a Jewish community, and he did something very peculiar, which was he didn't allow his congregation to listen to music, to read tabloids, to watch TV, anything like that. He didn't allow them to do that. And people thought that that was very odd and they questioned him. They said, Rabbi, why don't you let your congregation read newspapers, watch TV, listen to music, and these things? And the rabbi replied very wisely. He said, it's because we don't want open sewers running into our minds. I want you guys to remember that. The rabbi said, we don't want open sewers running into our minds. In other words, rabbi understood that the mind is sacred. You see, what you put in the mind has the power to reflect your behavior, to create your behavior for good or bad. The rabbi understood that. I want you guys to hold that because we're going to analyze this video and I want you to listen. I'm going to give the checks by every point that I put out to show you that these people had a sinister plan to lead our youth into the jailhouse systems to fill their pockets with money. And we fell for it yesterday and we're falling for it today. All right. And also another interesting statistic, OG. I
Right.
was looking at it was a study from the University of Rochester talking about the mind, right? So
Yeah.
it said, when does a young child's mind begin to think like an adult? So they said that this is a process that's completed at around the time the child is 24, 25 years old. It is only then does that person start to think like an adult and can make adult decisions, right? That's very important. I want people out there that's watching us and that will watch us later to remember that. But let's get into this video by our brother, Lazy Bone, and very brave man. And I want you guys to call in as well with your feedback as we go. But let's get into this. Okay, so the first point I want to bring out is that one thing to note that Lazy Bone said in the video is that he said back in the day, the record labels had much more control over the minds of the people. Just take a listen to what he's saying.
And quickly established myself in the business. The industry was different back then.
Now he's reading from a letter, from an anonymous letter of someone who was in the record business, a part of a record label, and they had some morals about them, and they walked away because they couldn't deal with what was going on, seeing these young kids being tricked into losing their freedom and going into prison. So he's actually reading a letter from that anonymous person.
Since technology and media weren't accessible to people like that, like they are today. Established companies between the late 80s and early 90s, I was what you may call a decision maker with one of the more established companies in the music industry. I came to Europe in the early 80s and quickly established myself in the business. The industry was different back then, since technology and media weren't accessible to people like that, like they are today. The industry had more control over the public.
Okay, hold on. We got to get past this commercial.
Yeah, he's talking that talk though.
And had the means to influence them. Any media weren't accessible to people like that, like they are today. The industry had more control over the public and had the means to influence them any way it wanted.
Right.
This may explain why in early 1991, I was invited to attend a.
So what he said was that back in those days in the 90s, the industry had much more control over the public than they do today because social media wasn't as accessible then as it is now. So anything that came,
we got something, Young Dolph, something.
What's that?
Anybody can get it. Memphis, Young Dolph alleged Killy.
What is that? A news brief for you?
Yeah, sit down there somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So like I was saying, he said that the industry had more control over the people because technology wasn't widespread the way it is today. So any information that you got concerning hip hop came from the powers that be. Now I want to get to where he's talking about this secret meeting that was convened, right? With this anonymous figure went, and we're going to get into what was discussed in that meeting.
Closed door meeting with a small group of business. This may explain why in early 1991, I was invited to attend a closed door meeting with a small group of business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Rap music's new direction.
Yeah.
Little did I know we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices ever seen.
Okay.
So he said they had a closed door meeting to discuss hip hop, the trajectory or the path of hip hop. Closed door meeting. And he said, little did I know I was going to be asked to participate in one of the most unethical events that I have ever heard of. Right. So now we're building up to the point here. We're building up to it. Stay with us. Stay with us. Now we're going to talk about.
And I wanted to elaborate on that part right there where he said, when they was about to have a closed door meeting. See, what he probably realized after that, because what type of time is he on, is that they was trying to get them to go upon them with some real negative stuff, and they really wasn't with it because they knew what direction it was gonna go to, and it was against their own people, y'all.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what he's talking about. But you're gonna see as we play, there was some guys who had some scruples and they walked out of there. But let's listen on and continue to see what he's saying.
To a private meeting to discuss the future of hip hop.
Now they're discussing the future of hip hop. This is in 1991. They're discussing the future of hip hop.
Right.
Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be from our industry.
Now, see, these people he just mentioned, he said there was a small group who wasn't from their industry. They made no attempt to socialize or be friendly with them. Now, I want you to remember this small group, brothers and sisters, right? For my black people and my brown people that are watching this, because this group, this small group that he's talking about here, that's your enemy. This is your enemy. And you'll see as we go on.
Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked to sign the confidentiality agreement, preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting.
You see, and that's how they always do. When they approach you with something like this, they want to make sure you can't talk about it to anybody. You can't tell nobody about it because they're ashamed of it, right? So they make you sign a confidentiality pact or agreement, you see, to hide their shame.
Because they know in the get-go they doing wrong anyway.
Exactly. They work from behind closed doors and they want to stay hidden because they know if the people find out what's really going on, it'll be hell up in Harlem. You feel me? So, yeah. So now we're going to talk about the respected companies. They invested in a market that could be very profitable. Now we're talking about these prison systems. That's why they made everyone there sign a confidentiality pact or agreement, because they were investing in privately owned prison systems. Right now, the plot thickens. Check it out.
Decision makers. At this point, I begin to feel slightly uncomfortable in the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement.
Right now, these people had invested in a private industry that could become even more rewarding with their participation, meaning the participation of the record labels.
Right.
This investment that they made could become much more valuable, much more lucrative, much more valuable, and make much more money for them with the involvement of the record labels.
Right.
He explained that The companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments.
So their influence, keyword, their influence in music would encourage or help the profitability of their investments in private business, in private prisons, right?
Right.
This is what he's saying. They need the record companies to sway the artists to
Right.
push this gangster music
So they
so
could
that
get So they could
this
get their
could
money.
they
Right.
could get their money. Right. This would increase their profits, the money that they use for capital to put inside of these prison systems, right? Okay, let's keep on listening.
Then he says, I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in awe and confusion. At the same time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who receive funding from the government based on the number of inmates.
Okay. He was told that these privately built and owned prisons were sponsored. The government would pay the people who owned the prisons money according to how many inmates they can lock up in these prisons. The government, just like any other state prison, the government pays them to house prisoners, but these people who invested millions in private prisons now will also receive money from the government according to how many inmates they can house, right? So in order for them to do that, the crime rate in the street needs to go up significantly. And not only that, they also need to be a part of helping the crime rate to go up in the street significantly. You see what I'm saying? So this is a very sinister thing from these people.
The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons.
The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons. Key, remember that. The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons, right? Let's keep listening.
It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares.
Now, hear what he just said. He said it also came true. They suggested to them that you could buy into these prisons. You could get shares. Now, that's your benefit. You see, they always give you something in order for them to get what they want out of you. So you can buy shares into the prison. That's our offer to you, so that you can change the path or the course of hip hop music from positive music into this negative, nasty, criminally filled music, charged music that we have today. You see, so their reward, their benefit is you can buy in shares in these prisons if you convince these black artists to get out here and push this deaf music into the ears of these young black children. That's what's going on here.
Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled.
See that? You see that? Now that the record companies are a part of this prison thing, this privately owned prison, they've become in a contract with these guys. It serves your best interest to make sure that these prisons stay filled. With who? Who the prison's going to stay filled with?
Black and brown.
The black and the brown, the young black people, the young Spanish people. You see? But it's deeper than this, man. It goes deeper than that. Let's keep on listening.
Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice.
Our jobs at the record label would be to tell our people who are signed to us to make sure the music is filled with criminology, with criminal behavior, with violence, right? Make sure the message that you put out there is pushing gangsterism. That would be in the best interest of the company. Yo,
Hey, brother Steve.
yo,
Hey,
brother Steve.
that's crazy.
what's
Man.
up? What's up, DMR?
All of this stuff got to connect from the late 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say this, J. Edgar Hoover in 1969,
Mm-hmm.
when he crushed the Black Panther Party for self-defense,
Mm-hmm.
he made sure that he had a statement that he said they had asked him, what is the key to suppressing black
Mm-hmm.
black empowerment?
Mm-hmm.
J. Edgar Hoover said rigorous law enforcement, right?
Right.
Now you look at this stuff now and police killing us.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They had to implement this rap thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 50 years old. I can remember this. I remember when rap was positive
Yes.
and it went from positive to negative. I can remember that shit.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Me too.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all. So what I'm saying to you, man, this thing is bigger than some old record. This thing got to do with the government. It got to do with the whole shebang. It's not only just one aspect. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I can remember that, man.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny you said this thing is bigger, right? Now let me show you something. It's funny you
Okay.
said that. This thing is bigger. Let me show you something, brother. Pay attention to what our brother Crazy Bone is saying now.
It outside. My industry colleague who opened up the meeting earlier hurried out to meet us and reminded us that we had signed an agreement and would suffer the consequences of speaking out about this publicly or even those who attended the meeting.
Damn.
I asked him, why was he involved with something so corrupt? And he replied, it's bigger than the music business and nothing we can do. And no, it's bigger than the music business and nothing we want to challenge without risking consequences.
Did you hear what he said? It's bigger than the music business and nothing you want to mess with without suffering consequences. Do you see that?
Hey, Steve, and right, OG.
Yeah.
Y'all remember this guy named he was the best rock and roll guitarist of all time.
Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yo, Jimi Hendrix was trying to start a black production company, right?
Yeah.
They sent the MI6 the day he died. Something happened with the MI6 and him. This thing is bigger than just music, man. It goes beyond the board. They do not want black people from America to get in certain positions of power. And I'm saying it's a reason for this shit.
Yeah. What do you think the reason is, DMR? What do you think the reason is?
I think the reason is, man, is that they understand our potential as people. They understand that black people create shit. We created hip hop, right?
Right.
In the like Bronx. Although they say the Bronx, but it was indication, other spots too. But
why do you think they after us so bad? Why do you think they don't want us to have it?
Steve OG, they understand our potential.
You know why?
They scared of us.
They don't want us to have it because they see how we treat each other, so they can imagine if we got it with ourselves, how we gonna do it. All we gonna do is
that's what I'm saying. Exactly, OG. That's what I'm saying.
And I'm black, and I'm saying that.
Okay.
Right,
okay.
On the Harold fact, real talk.
Okay.
You got some knuckleheads, man.
We do, but check this out. Check this out, bro.
Got a whole lot of cleaning up to do, man. If we're gonna get it right, a whole lot.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
A whole lot, bro. You heard? Shit got to turn like Spartacus in this motherfucker, heavy.
No doubt. Yes, but check it out. Check it out. Now check this out. This is what I'm gonna say. Now, what my understanding of this is this. I understand as a black man, we got enemies. There is there's a section of white folk out there that racist whites, not all whites are racist. I'm specifically talking about racist whites, right? Who have in the past always tried to keep the black man down, and they're doing that now. They're still doing it. So what I'm saying to you is this record company thing, right? As far as them changing the trajectory of hip hop music in a negative direction is not the first or the only attempt that they have made to destroy us or to make us land in a worse situation that we can be in. It's not the first attempt.
Right. Right.
This stems back to slavery, but I like to start from the point again, and I'll say this in all my videos, of the Civil War. If you study the Civil War, Reconstruction, and the civil rights movements, you'll understand all of this, bro.
Right. Right.
Let me
Right.
tell you something.
But
You guys remember when Abraham Lincoln was murdered, assassinated,
right,
right? The president. Now,
Mm.
his vice president, Andrew Johnson, became president after him.
Right.
Now, Andrew Johnson did a 360 on us. He took away the freedom that Lincoln gave us. He re-enslaved us basically under something called sharecropping. But I want you to hear this
Right.
part. I want you to hear this part. He went around town. Now, he brought all those Confederate generals back into the South and put them back in positions of power. He made them governors all over the southern states, these old Confederates that the North had fought the Civil War against, right?
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln killed. Johnson comes in. He turns on us and bring his racist buddies in and put us under sharecropping and black codes. So this man is going around, this president. He's going around presidential debates, or not, what is that? Presidential, what do they call it? All right, let's say presidential meetings throughout the states, presidential addresses.
right,
And what he did to stifle us the first time, there was
I think we got a caller.
no, that's my phone. So there was something called the Freedmen's Bureau. Now, this Freedmen's Bureau was like a mini military. They were commissioned by Congress. They have military power. Their job was to go into the South and establish civil rights for black people, establish housing, schooling, Medicaid, medication, doctors, all of that, and also poor whites that had stayed dedicated to the Union. So
Right.
now Congress prepared some monies for this Freedmen's Bureau to come into the South with, to assist them in assisting us in building up our communities. We had land that was given to us that were formerly owned by those Confederate generals. Abraham Lincoln gave us those lands, right? We built schools, colleges, doctors. We were doctors, postmen, postal offices, everything. Very similar to the thing that happened in the 1920s, Black Wall Street, right?
right, right.
So now, as this president, Andrew Johnson, is going around at these presidential meetings, somebody gets, and he also vetoed the first civil rights bill that was ever constructed. He vetoed that. He stopped it. That would have gave us our civil rights, right? We could have sat in movie theaters with white people, shopped with them, lived next door to them, but he vetoed that. He stopped it. So he did two things. He stopped the money. He vetoed the money for the Freedmen's Bureau, and he also vetoed the first civil rights bill. Now,
Right.
when he's in these presidential conventions and he's talking amongst the people, someone asked him, they said, Mr. President, you know how you see in the White House today when the president's talking,
Right.
they say, oh, you speak. So he told the guy, go ahead and speak. The guy said, Mr. President, what was the meaning of you vetoing the monies for the Freedmen's Bureau and vetoing the Civil Rights Bill? So before the president could open his mouth to answer, a white racist man in that audience stood up and said, it means keeping the nigger down. Huh? It means keeping the nigger down.
Hey, brother Steve. Okay, now
Yeah.
stop right there. Okay. Why are black people such a threat? This is what we gotta find out.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why.
The reason why he said that is some reason why they think like this. The reason that I'm saying, man, is that they understand that black people are suppressed. If they were suppressed, they would do the same shit.
Yeah.
The fear is fear that black people will override them and do what they did on us.
Yeah, okay. In a sense,
they know they did so much shit to us as far as with our bloodline, with our history, with the books. They took a lot from us. They took a lot from us.
Yeah.
But
let me tell you
our
something.
families. They
raped our women.
They raped our women. They split us up. They did all type of shit with us, man. They mixed us up. They know what they did.
I can tell you like this though. I can almost positively tell you today that if the tables turned and we got in power, I don't think we would do them like they did us. No way. And in this day and age,
that's our problem though. See, ho. See, That's our problem right there.
Yeah,
Yup.
We like
kind-hearted.
being nice to every motherfucking body. We
Yeah,
too nice to everybody. That's our
yeah, yeah.
problem.
Exactly, OG.
But see,
Exactly.
you know why I
I
said that?
agree.
You know why I reminded you about that history when that guy said means keeping a nigga down? Because that that right there is a signal, right? That's a declaration of war. That's the
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
footing. That's
That's
the
right.
footing
exactly.
that
That's
they've
right.
been
That's right.
on
That's right.
ever since, keeping the
That's right.
nigga down.
That's right.
So this was in 1865, almost a little more than 150 years ago. Not 200 years yet, but
Yeah. 150,
1865.
149, something like that. Yeah.
Listen to this. Now you
It's
study
crazy.
that history from there all the way up until now. You'll see everywhere they throw a stumbling block. Crack
Hey,
cocaine is the same thing. That's why the
hey,
crack and the cocaine is here.
hey,
You see?
hey, Brother Stephen, OG.
Mm-hmm.
I want y'all to look back in retrospect to 1965.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm X,
Yeah.
El Haj, Malik Shabazz.
Yes, sir. Rahimahullah.
And
Yes.
I always talked about this brother.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to take the United States to world court.
Yes.
He
Indeed.
was talking to Dr. Martin Luther King.
Mm-hmm.
They did not want him to do this. And the reason why he was knocked off was because of this reason. Malcolm X did, Paul Robeson was before Malcolm X in the 50s. Paul
Mm-hmm.
Robeson died poor. He died in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the way the government do people, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid to speak about this outright at all.
Mm-hmm.
The government have certain conditions for certain people.
Yeah.
Malcolm X came at the time of COINTELPRO.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm X was going to bring all the people to bear the African American struggle. He got assassinated in
Mm-hmm.
1965.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Martin Luther King understood. He led us into a burning house. He got
Yeah.
assassinated in 68.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One
Mm-hmm.
person that you got to understand that was going to do community control was in Chicago. His name was
Mm-hmm.
Fred Hampton
Yeah.
Sr.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This
Black
brother,
Panthers.
he was
Mm-hmm.
going to do Chicago, but they feared because he was going to go on the national board for the whole country. They
Mm-hmm.
had to
Right.
assassinate him before 1970. So
Right.
check this out. Everybody died before 1970. Then you had Superfly. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This
Right.
It
shit is
is though.
crazy.
You see
Yeah.
now look, let's go back to what we said earlier, right? Let's listen to this, DMR. Remember what you just said. So in other words, they took away all of our leaders that were pushing correct
Right.
information,
Right.
right?
Right.
Right,
The same way, the same pattern. They take the rappers that are pushing
right.
And use
positive
That's
them
what I'm
as
energy out,
saying.
tools just like
and
that.
they do away with them to replace them with this negative energy, right?
The
Because
next.
now look at what the guy said on the video. He said, you guys with your influence in music have the power to make sure that that we profit greatly because you control music. If you put negative in music out there, the people that the music that's filled with criminal behavior and pushing and promoting criminality, guess what? The listeners, these young boys who are listening to the music,
That's right.
and now
They
we
gonna
know
go
that they're
crazy for it, yeah.
we now know that they don't start thinking like a man until about 25 in the brain. Prior to that, you're still thinking like a child.
That's
You see,
right.
so you don't have the capacity to make rational decisions. You're
Right.
making your
Okay.
decisions based off of
Right.
emotions instead of rationality. This is a scientific study. So that music is aimed directly at the youth. See, now this is why we have it going on today. This is why they allow this trap music and all of this other stuff to
Right.
exist today, and they push it because it's doing the same thing. Now check this out, DMR and OG. Check this out. This happened
Shout
in
out to Liz, my co-host.
shout out to Liz, no doubt. This
Hey, Miss
happened,
Liz, how you doing?
no doubt. This happened in 1991, right? This record label, these strange individuals appear to the heads of the record labels and proposition them to take rap and make it negative, right?
Yeah.
1991. 2 years later, 1993, Bill Clinton becomes president.
Right.
Bill Clinton introduces a crime bill where $8.3 billion are pushed into this bill that's reserved for him to do what? Build more private prisons. Remember when Clinton got in office, we couldn't understand, well, why is he building all of these prisons? What's happening here? We didn't know, right? But the crime bill, this thing they fashioned, put away $8.3 billion for him to put for the states that wanted to build these private prisons as long as they agreed to a certain type of sentencing for repeated criminals. 3 strikes you're out, etc. They had to agree to that. I forgot what they called it. It was a certain name they had. But if they agreed to that, then the states would be eligible to receive some of that monies to build these private prisons to house inmates. We didn't understand why Bill Clinton was building these prisons. We were like, crime is not at an all-time high. What the hell is he building prisons for? But see, the psychological aspect, your enemy, your natural enemy, the enemy of black people, that congregation, those small clique of people.
And it's a business too, though.
Of course, that small group of people that approached that brother and said to him, this is bigger than business. We want to, you push rap in this negative direction. You can buy in and get shares into these prison systems. They understood the mind. They understood the message that comes from this music has the power to shape the mind and to dictate the behavior that comes from the individual, these children. If you're putting out a negative message, one that's filled with violence and gang banging and gun slinging and selling drugs and getting fast money, living that life, if you put that out there in the airways for these kids to take in by way of their eyes and ears into their brain, I guarantee you their behavior will reflect this. Those sinister people, that small group of investors that approached that record company, they understood this greatly. And this is why they wanted to turn hip hop into a negative killing music as opposed to something righteous. This is why they did it.
But hey, brother Steve, I don't. Yeah. Here's something that I don't understand. Mm-hmm. Within this time frame through the 90s, you got all this killing, right? Mm-hmm. But you got the NYPD, that assassinated Eleanor Bumpers in 1985. Michael Stewart, Yusuf Hawkins got killed in Bensonhurst.
Yep.
You got Amadou Dalalo.
We could go on, and guess what?
Okay.
We still ain't get it together yet. We still killing each other.
OG, and Steve. Here's the thing. Here's something I don't understand. We talk about the music joint, right? With us changing, but the police thing don't change. It's the same.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like a thing where we changing to change hip hop, but the police thing don't change. So it's like they assassinate them, but then we fight each other. So it's a both sides for me.
They have us, brother. They have us in a bad position. Now, to understand this thing, we're gonna have to visit different eras in our history. Like you brought up the 70s and the 60s.
Right. We got us in a bad position.
Yeah, we are responsible, but they let us here, and we did because we were unsuspecting. To understand this, you have to visit different areas. The thing that right now that I can see that also played a part that they're responsible for was the crack era. The crack era took out the mother and the father in the home that were good parents, that had your food ready when you came home, that ironed your clothes, that told you, boy, you better have your butt in this house at a certain time. It took away the neighbors that said, hey, I see you doing something wrong. I'm going to tell your mama. Instead, I'm going to whip your butt first, and then I'm going to take you to your mama. So it took those good, wholesome people out of the home, right?
I ain't even going to give my story because Tyler Perry might be calling us up now. I mean.
No, but real,
okay.
I ain't going to do it like that.
No doubt. But you can relate. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so that crack took those people out. So now what did you have? You had young people left to raise themselves. And then you had those crackheads that were getting pregnant, having crack babies. Crack babies are born with multitudes of problems, right? Yeah. And now they are growing up on their own they're eventually having babies, right? And
Right.
now that
Right.
moral fiber and teaching that was there just a generation ago is gone. So these kids are growing up with no kind of moral concept, no moral
Mhm.
construct. You understand? They have mental problems, mental issues, and they don't know what a good wholesome parent is. So that crack era wiped us out. And that's what prepared us to be able to receive this gangster hip hop and this gangster music. When it came to us, we jumped on it. This is what we see outside. This is what we experience. But we weren't smart enough, and I didn't expect us to be smart enough coming outside of that devastation from the crack era to not indulge. Because it provided money, right? Hip hop stars, they now can feed their families. People see them. They want to do the same thing. They're talking about selling drugs and selling crack. Well, I'm going to do that. We're not thinking about the consequences of it. But just a generation
Hey,
ago, you
hey,
didn't have the
hey,
parent to tell you about it. Because
Yeah.
that parent turned to a
hey,
crackhead. So you like, I'm do what I got to do.
hey, brother Steven, right? OG.
Mhm.
I want to go back again at Pop,
Mhm.
Tupac Shakur, and the reason why I say Pac is because Pac is from Harlem, right?
He was born there. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think
Or,
he's born there.
right. So Pac was a part of the Black Pan. His
Mhm.
family was part of
Yeah.
the Pan.
Yeah.
But in my estimation, I remember Pac was a part of uh, uh, this group a long time ago. I
Mhm.
had seen him, but then I remember when like Pac started to rap.
Mhm.
So Tupac came out and he was positive,
Yes.
but Tupac he kind of shifted, but he always had that positivity with
Yes.
him
Yes.
until he died, right?
It's
Mhm.
because
So
Mhm.
it's because the teachings, the lessons, his family, everybody
Yeah.
was around, they was with the teachings.
Yeah. Yeah.
right,
They was
right,
teaching. You wasn't
yeah,
just doing what you
yeah,
wanted to do. You had to study, you had to know the lessons, you had to know the teachings.
Mhm.
exactly. So then right after he died,
Mhm.
you ain't hear nobody else coming out with the stuff Pac said
Mm-mm.
or type of energy.
See, Pac was in a tug of war. Let me tell you, that lady that's on the run now, she's in Cuba. What's her name? Malika Shakur, something
Oh
Shakur. That
no,
Yeah. Aside
Saka
Shakur.
Shakur,
that's his
Asaka
aunt.
Shakur.
That's his aunt.
Right,
That's
right,
Tupac's aunt.
right,
Now you know
right.
his mother was a revolutionary. His
Exactly,
dad a revolutionary. They
exactly.
were down with revolutionary movement. So
Uh-huh.
Pac comes out and he wants to preach that positive message, but at the time, these jokers that we're talking about now had already convinced the record labels to take hip hop in a violent way. So Pac had to say, you know what? If I talk the positive stuff, I'm going to be on the shelf. I don't want to be on
Okay.
the shelf. So I have to get into the gangster ish to get out there to
Right.
get heard, but I
Right.
I
still got
feel
the
you.
positive.
I feel
See, now
right.
this is
Okay.
exactly now we're understanding. With Tupac, you know he was positive, right? But he indulged in the gangster stuff, and now we're learning why because of this
Right.
secret meeting where these jokers, these powers, these money mongols stepped to the record labels with this proposition. You guys take hip hop and you stir it into a gangster way, and you're gonna help us fill up these private prisons that we invested millions of dollars in. This is the truth in black and white. Crazy Bone risking his life to tell us this information, right?
Yeah,
So
he did.
this is what has happened, and we took on to it because of the conditions that we were living in, because of the conditions, the poverty, right? The rap music is telling you how to get money. You poor, get out there and take this sack, take this pack, and get some money. You know what I mean? Get on that block and sell this crack and get some bread. That's what the rap was telling us in the 1990s. Hustle, get out there, sell that crack, get that money, go OT. Yo, check what happened out of state. I'm knocking on for hack, can't cash through, flying at a fast rate and all that stuff. Huh?
And also,
You
and
see?
also, and also, you can't. I ain't trying to cut you off, co-host, but also when he said they went behind closed doors and had the meet, and it was like they already know what they was doing. They already had
Yeah.
it. It was thought out already, like you said.
Hmm.
They knew what they was doing. You know what I'm saying, they knew what was gonna happen, how much they was gonna make. They knew all that. You know what I
Of
mean?
course, of course. It was
Hey,
a sinister
hey,
master plan.
hey, brother
Go ahead, Dion.
Steven, OG.
Hmm.
you gotta check out this interview by this cat. He was a part of the poor righteous teachers.
Yeah.
Go on YouTube and check his interview out. I forgot this dude's name.
Okay.
But he was talking about that. He was talking about when Sean Bell got knocked off, right? How it's this guy in the music industry, not Clive Davis. It was this other cat.
Right.
And this dude made a song about the police and black violence. And he said something in his lyrics, and the dude said absolutely not. He said that would cause a problem. Right. So the thing I'm saying, man, y'all gotta check this interview. I forgot this dude's name.
I'm gonna get it from you. We're gonna check that out.
But he spoke about that, and he said, he said the dude did not entertain any. He said, I want to keep everything on this other thing. Okay? So that wasn't like Brother Steve or OG back in 1990 after the riots in LA.
Yeah.
Okay?
You see, yeah.
So fast forward to 1996. Sean Bell got cut down. No response. I'm not saying violence against the cops. I'm not saying, but I'm saying, man, you gotta see how this shit is.
Yeah.
It's like this. It's a history of this shit.
Exactly. That's why I said.
It ties into this rap shit.
That's why I brought that part of history, DMR. Remember what this man said? It means keeping the nigger down. It means keeping the nigger down. That's the war footing. That's the war footing that they're on. That was their declaration of war back in those times. And they've been on that war footing against us ever since in this country. Any chance they get to throw a stumbling block in our way, they're going to do it. We just have to become smarter to dodge those stumbling blocks. And we're doing bad right now. But now in terms of the police, you got to understand something. The police prior to the 2000s, I would say, was basically filled with racist white boys.
Right.
Racist whites dominated the police in this country for years and decades and decades. So the racist whites, they some of them in some places they still do. These guys, they are. I remember when I used to live in Queens, and in my projects in the 90s, mid to late 90s, police just used to run up on you and go inside your pockets. They had no probable cause, no reason to do nothing. But what had happened there was that, all right, you remember when crack first came out, for instance, when Alpo and Rich Porter and AZ was getting money.
Right.
At that point in time, you had crack houses that had lines around the corner. They all said that in their documentaries. So the police would just zoom up. Yeah, the police would just zoom up and down the block, wouldn't bother nobody, because at that time they had not put a statute on crack. They didn't know how to, give you enough what time they want to give you for how much you got caught with.
As long as it wasn't no murders, they didn't really bother you. If it wasn't no murders, they didn't really bother you. But
now, peep game. See, peep game. You see, racist whites don't do something for nothing, right? This is what they did. They left it that way for a long time, that you could get caught with crack and basically get a slap on the wrist. This gave crack the time it needed to saturate our community, to get those who were going to be hooked on it, and those who were going to be the pushers hooked on selling it. So they gave it time to set in the community and make people dependent on it. They gave it time to destroy the community. It gave it time to make the crackhead a super crackhead. And he got to have crack. So now he's out here busting store windows and robbing people to get crack money. All of this in the minds of those people who invested in those private prison make for money. Spells money. They use crack. They use the music industry. You see?
Hey, Steve. Hey, brother Steve, OG. I'm from down here, Wilmington, Delaware, right? And you had a dude in his 70s. He was a hitman for the police.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his name was L. Landon. I ain't gonna say his first name. His name was L. Landon.
Mm-hmm.
This dude was killing blacks for the police.
Yes.
Down here. Okay, I'm not from NY, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. Down here, they just as racist, and they got blacks down here doing the dirty work.
Hey man,
you know what I'm saying? And yo, I know y'all seen that footage of the dude that got killed in a wheelchair, right?
Oh, when he fought the police and he was trying to get their guns.
Trying to get out the car.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was just saying.
He was telling them he couldn't get out the car.
Yeah,
no. He was in a wheelchair, brother.
And they tried to arrest him.
Wheelchair.
And he fought them back.
He got shot in his chair. The police had a shotgun and blasting him in the shotgun, brother.
Okay, that's different. That's different.
It went all over the country.
Wow.
Wilmington, Delaware.
Yeah, man.
And this cop got off and he out here right now, bro.
Yeah, of course. Let me tell you something. If those riots that just happened after our brother didn't take place, we would still be going through the same thing. Those riots, believe it or not, I didn't agree with them. I didn't think we should be out there looting and all that stuff with George Floyd. Right. But those riots put some fire underneath their behinds. Those riots. Prior to those riots, we would have still been going through the same thing. That's my belief. So the riots made somebody somewhere wake up. The riots, I believe, made these three people men that just killed Mr. Aubrey, blessed the dead, be found guilty, if you ask me. Those riots. So they respect power. Power respect power. But we didn't know these things for a long time. We wasn't in a position to do anything, to fight anybody because of our state. But it's just sad to see that we keep falling for the same thing. But this interview with our brother Lazy Bone is so important because it shows you the mindset of these wicked racist devils. You understand? They set that plan in motion. They knew it was going to work, and it worked because they saw that we were people in poverty and in ignorance. And once you put that crack cocaine in a neighborhood, you're only going to assure
you can forget it.
It's going to be crime written. I mean, I remember in the late 80s and early 90s, I remember those crackheads, bro. I was waking up in the morning. My aunt used to live in the same project building as I did. So sometimes I would spend the night downstairs in her house, and me and my cousin, we would go to school in the morning. And I'd be walking out, and you stepping in, what the hell is that? 1,000 crack vials on the goddamn floor. With these fiends out there smoking all night long. The terrace floor is covered in crack bottles, all different colors and shapes. And now you had this all throughout the 50 states. North Carolina got taught by crack. Chicago, Detroit, everywhere this crack destroyed the black man. So they knew this. Those sinister people that took place, that came to those guys in the record labels and suggested this thing to turn rap into this violent way. They knew and they understood based on the statistics in the street, the arrest records they look at, and just the demographics, period. They knew that was a good investment, and they knew if they could get rap to lead the way and be the music that's going to preach this criminal activity into the minds of young people, that those jails they own would fill up overnight. They knew it, and it worked. And it worked.
All y'all can think back the golden age of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Run DMC, the first black group ever to perform on MTV in 1983.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember that? Y'all remember UTFO, Houdini, LL Cool J.
Mm-hmm.
Even before that, Curtis Blow, Furious 5, Grandmaster Flash, Tetris 3, Wild Style, Beat Street.
Yeah. Back then,
You know what I'm saying? I remember that, man. And it's like a smack in the face to me now. I'm saying, this shit is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Those groups were shelved, brother. They were put on the shelf because of this new agenda of these wicked people. Those groups were put on the shelf, on the back burner, because of the agenda of these wicked people.
Back then, I think they had more meaning to the songs. Now
they did.
Exactly.
I don't know what the hell they be saying now.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Hey, yo, a lot of cats don't understand that joint. Shan, MC Shan back in the day, pioneered this, kill that noise. The bridge is over. You know, Rakim, Eric B. and Rakim,
That's right. Eric B.
Houdini,
President. Yep.
UTFO,
Yep.
Salt and Pepper. You know, that thing, man.
Queen
That
Latifah,
time was
ladies
good.
first. The ladies
You see
first.
what I'm saying?
Self-destruction. You headed for
Yeah,
self-destruction. See,
self-destruction.
Don't leave my boy KRS-One out
Oh,
of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
All of that.
Yeah, I said
Now,
baby.
all of those groups we just mentioned, they had one mission and one mission only. That was to preach the positive message to the black man.
Positivity.
Right? Stop. The crack was coming out. Stop using crack. They told us, stop. Don't touch this crack, or you're turning the crackheads public enemy. I especially remember them talking to us about this new form of crack cocaine and all of this stuff, right? Making the music that was warning us against this. All of that got put on the back burner because of the wicked and evil mind of those racist whites. These are people who are fantastically rich. They got money to burn out of their ass, and they sit back in places that me and you will never see them. Their kids go to the best of schools, private schools. They live in houses that are the size of a project building, and you will never see them in your life, bro. But
and
they
we
out here.
want some. And we want
yeah.
OG. Hip hop was, as they say, and it's true, born in Corona Park in the Bronx, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so the thing I'm saying is hip hop have been born by us, black people. But we don't have no economical say in that whole thing. That's the problem.
They just did now. They got a museum they built up in the Bronx now.
Yeah, they got a museum, but they got a hip hop museum. All right, but that's not in the Bronx. Yeah, they have it. They have it.
It's a start. It's a start.
It's a start. We can have a museum.
Hold on. They got a museum in the Bronx. Where?
Yeah. I don't know where, but I saw it on the news. They have a hip hop museum. Yes, they do. And a lot of the old cats, a lot of the old MCs that you just mentioned, a lot of them are a part of that. I did see that.
Okay, that's true. Cool. Okay,
but that's a museum. That's not a piece of the industry. You understand? Like the big wigs. We need that. We still haven't got that. But now let me jump back to what I was talking about with President Clinton. Check this out in the crime bill.
Okay.
It says here, the crime bill included $8.7 billion for prison construction for states that enacted, and this is the name of it, they had to enact something called truth in sentencing laws. Truth in sentencing laws, right? In order to get that $8.7 billion for the construction of private prisons, they had to agree or enact or ratify something that was called truth in sentencing laws, and this law required people convicted of violent crimes to serve at least 85% of their time. Clinton issued the 3 strikes program as well. Okay, so President Clinton knew something. He knew something, right? They knew that when that crack came in and they looked at the statistics, how many people getting locked up, and then these powers that be and their investments in these private prisons, these are rich people, rich beyond your imagination, and they control what goes on with black people in the streets through music, movies, and tabloids, right? It's like Jesus Christ said in the Bible, a man is as he thinketh. Whatever is in your mind, that's what you're going to be. So if you're getting influences from a source that's telling you to go out here, like these gangbangers of today, right? Yesterday, it was violent hip hop music, gangster hip hop music. Today they're pushing something called trap music. They're pushing trap music. Trap music comes out of Chicago, gang-ridden Chicago. This is the most deadly form of music out there, where you're talking about killing your ops, killing your opponent, the dude that's in the gang next door to you, across the street. You have to kill him, and when you do kill him, you go back there and you smoke. I'm smoking a pack. I'm smoking my dead ops. So now you're taunting the other gang whose member you just killed, and and they're allowing you. The record companies are allowing you to put this into the music. Those other gangs hear this, right? And they know the record companies know that you're taunting this other gang, and they're gonna come back and retaliate, right? So they know this. This is gonna happen. Retaliation is gonna happen. And then that gang is now talking about, well, I'm smoking on this dude. He's a pack now. So now the gang that you just killed, they hear this and they put it in the records. We smoking on so and so. They're putting this in these hip hop records,
right?
And these kids are listening. These gang members now they go back and they retaliate when they kill one of them. They put in the record. I'm now smoking on so and so.
So okay.
Please call in. Please call in the Hierophant Podcast. Please call in.
Hierophant Podcast. Anybody got anything you want to say? Please call up. The numbers on the screen: 347-595-9134. Appreciate if you call in with your feedback. Also, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and give your brothers here the thumbs up, the like button. Go ahead, OG.
So OG,
I'm sorry, DMR
and Steve, they taking the same path as the COINTELPRO. Because don't forget, they had the East fighting the West, right? So they just let them fight it out.
Yeah.
Let them fight each other, kill each other off.
Yeah. Well, see, in the meantime, what's happening still is in Chicago, right? Just like everywhere else. When you go kill somebody gets locked up. The jails are still being filled up. So the plan that they had from the beginning is still working. The other industry that's benefiting off of this is the funeral industry. You see, the funeral industry, they got plenty of work every day. So every other day, somebody's getting killed.
That's crazy.
But this is what they're doing. The record companies, like again, also with the late FBG Duck from Chicago. I don't know if you heard of him, right? You remember he got killed. Okay. Now, this is a classic example. May he rest in peace, right? This is a classic example. FBG Duck made a song called Dead Bitches. Dead Bitches, right? And in that song, he's talking about all of the gang members from rival gangs that were killed by his gang. Disrespecting them. A bunch of dead bitches in the grave and all this stuff. Retaliation now is a must. But the thing is that it is rumored that when FBG Duck got killed, his record label automatically dropped him just like that. Why did they do it? Because they know that it's
for
unethical.
The money. They did it for the money.
It's unethical for them to allow this type of music to circulate coming out of that record company.
Right.
Because you know that if this man is up here talking about I'm smoking on dead homies, my ops, I killed the dudes in the other gang, that other gang is coming. And this is going to promote that killing back and forth.
They're going to take your business down. That's right.
Who's providing the platform for them to keep on singing this killer music? The record labels.
And now see, Chicago is on a whole different level.
Right.
I don't know nothing about Chicago.
Me neither.
But I know what though. Philadelphia.
I got a few guys out there, but I don't really know nothing.
Yeah. OG and Steve. Yeah. Philadelphia right now.
I told you, look up
Philadelphia on some old other shit.
I told you to look up Kensington, Philadelphia. Remember when I was telling y'all look up a place called Kensington?
I used to go through there. Whew. I had to really look because a motherfucker to roll on me. Philly is a damn war zone, bro.
Hey, bro,
West Philly, South Philly.
When we get out of this podcast, look up Kensington, Philadelphia. Just put it in YouTube.
Steve, I've been through that motherfucker. I had to look around my shoulder.
How long ago you went?
I went a while back, but look
at it now. Look at it now.
I ain't far from Philly. Philly, I ain't far from Philadelphia. I can just go and store my car and go up the highway. I'm running Philly.
Yo, bro.
Philly is a war zone. If you go to Philadelphia, you gotta have a gun, bro. You better have your shit on you.
You better believe it. Hold on.
It's that dangerous up here, Steve. And
Hold on, bro. I'm gonna do better than that. I'm gonna find it for you while we talking right now. I'm gonna show you what they're doing out there in Philadelphia, man.
I know they.
The powers in Philadelphia.
Shit, Philly a war zone.
Kensington, Philadelphia.
Man, let me tell you something. It ain't only Kingston, Steve OG.
Hey
It's
man, I
South
know you.
Philly, West Philly.
I know y'all heard about that outbreak out there in Africa and all them countries with that COVID, man, that they
Right,
banned them from coming flying over here, right?
right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Man, this
very
shit is
important
crazy,
too, people.
man.
Make sure you wash your hands when don't every time you touch something, wash your hands coming in and out. Don't be shaking hands and keep your masks on, please, man.
No doubt.
Okay.
Check it out. Check it out, y'all. Kensington, Philadelphia. This is what it looks like today.
Yo, man, that's just a drug.
This
I
is what
know
Kensington,
exactly where that
Philadelphia
is.
looks like today.
That's a goddamn zombie land.
Average.
Hmm.
And yo,
West Kensington, East
yo,
Kensington, Fair
if
Hill,
those that
North
don't
Richmond,
know,
and Old
that's in
Richmond are all part of the Kensington neighborhood.
Kensington is North Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
It is
It's
well
North
known for its
Philadelphia.
alarming heroin problem,
Mm-hmm.
which has earned it the moniker Walmart of heroin.
Heroin down there, tearing them up.
Man, it's crazy shit. And
The avenue is widely regarded as the East Coast's largest outdoor heroin narcotic market.
The world's largest outdoor narcotic market, Kensington, Philadelphia. I've never
When
seen a
Kensington was
whole town
deindustrialized in the 1950s, it
destroyed
transformed
or
from a
ravaged
blue-collar
with
factory
dope like
neighborhood
this. I've
to a
never
drug
seen this.
well, that's in North
city's
Philadelphia.
financial investment
Yeah.
dwindled. The
But you go to South Philly and West Philly, it's just it's a violent thing, man. It's just a damn violent wave down that joint, man.
Look at
And
this. Look at this.
that's crazy. They
All
got
over.
some good stuff down there.
Crazy, man. It's
He said I
crazy,
got the
bro.
good stuff, OG.
Hell
Yeah, they
yeah.
got some good stuff, all right. Stuff that destroy people, that destroy lives, man.
Shit.
Destroy lives,
Yo,
bro. This is kids. This is a whole city, bro. Like,
Yeah.
wow, man. Wow,
Yeah, that's crazy.
wow.
yo, I don't know.
Where,
Chicago's
where, where,
on that
where, where
old
they ain't say exactly where's that at, right?
Kensington, This is in
Kensington?
Kensington,
North Philadelphia,
Kensington,
G,
Philadelphia.
OG, North
Wow.
Philadelphia, the Kingston. Yeah,
Kensington, Philadelphia.
yeah.
Everything you see on drugs.
North Philadelphia and Kensington.
Everything you see is on drugs, bro. Everything you see. That's their subway. That's the train station. I'm talking about the parks. People falling out. They're
Yo,
homeless. Look at this.
not only in Kingston.
Mhm.
You better have your shit in Philly. Period. I'm letting you know. When you
Mhm.
stroll to South Philly,
Mhm. Mhm.
North Philadelphia, and West Philly, you better have your shit on you because
Yeah.
you don't know who might rob you.
Look at this. See, but this is the powers that be. They're part of this as well. The powers
Man,
that be. They
that's
bring the
crazy
drugs
as hell.
in. You
Exactly.
know, they bring it in. Kensington, Philadelphia. It's a shame, man. It's really a
Yeah,
shame.
that look like poverty, right?
Yeah.
Man,
It's a
that's
drug abuse.
hey,
It's drug
hey,
addiction is what it is.
You
hey,
gotta
G.
blame that on the government though.
That shit is
That's who you blame.
damn
That's who you
zombie.
blame.
That's the most zombie shit up
See,
there, bro.
that's what they did to us with the crack cocaine in the
Right,
80s. That's what they did to
Right,
us.
right.
See,
exactly,
and our streets
exactly.
were tore up just like that. This was a part of a big elaborate scheme. And I produced a book in one of my videos before called The New Jim Crow, where a scholarly sister named Michelle Alexander exposes the FBI for letting crack cocaine come into the United States. They
That's right.
allowed it. The CIA, they turned their
Yeah,
backs and let crack come on in. Part of a
yep.
sinister plan. Same way these music Mongols produced this plan to turn to gangsterize hip hop. You see, and now today their plan is the same thing, but they're doing it with this drill music, which encourages these kids to go out here and become gang members and to catch bodies and body people and kill people.
Hey,
So much so that just the other day, I'm looking on the news, man, and a 14-year-old boy riding the subway thinks it's fun. He pulls out his pellet gun and shoots the conductor in the face as the train
oh,
is moving. Just for wreck. Just for wreck. See? Now, 9 times out of 10, he's probably, trying to be
where
down with
that,
the gang and showing the gang that he ain't scared.
where
And this
that at?
drill,
See,
this is in the Bronx, right here where I live in the Bronx.
in the Bronx.
Yeah. Every day it goes down here in the Bronx because the Bronx is on that drill scene that
Word.
Chicago is on. The Bronx heavy on the drill scene. So this
Drill?
shoot
What? Wait a
every
minute.
night,
Wait.
every day.
And why is on that shit now too?
What? What? This is
I
little
didn't know that.
Chicago. The Bronx is little Chicago, brother.
Man, I knew New
This is
York
little
was like,
Chicago. It's
God dang.
crazy. It's crazy. But the whole thing about this is this has been planned by the higher ups. This was their reason for
That's crazy, man.
for gangsterizing hip hop. That was the reason they did it, because they understand the minds of these children, how the mind of these young people is going to respond to this negative music. They know it's going to prompt them to go out there and commit crimes and all of this stuff. They knew that. And it worked. It's still working till this day. And this is why I'm saying here, we as older people need to start a movement to make these record companies take some goddamn responsibility for providing a platform for these young people to go on here and taunt each other with this gangster music. I just killed one of yours and I'm smoking on him. And then they go kill one of theirs and they say the same thing, I smoke. And this just perpetuates this cycle of viciousness and killing. That's all it does. The record labels, the internet platforms that provide services and platforms for these kids to preach these hate-filled messages should be made to take some responsibility for what they're allowing these children, the messages they are allowing them to pass on, which eventually leads into homicides, man, and criminality and criminal behavior on the street, which lands them in prison and in the goddamn ground too early.
Right.
Hip hop should be censored. There should be some censorship here. Things that can be said and
not
and
only that,
be said.
not only that, like it should be some type of responsibility as far as like when you put what type of music you put out, you have to level it out on what you putting out. Say like if you're putting it out on radio, you gotta be advised what you're putting out because you got all type of people in forms of fashions, ages of people listening. You got kids,
That's the most
big kids,
important.
little kids, old people, young people. You got, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So what they're doing now, what the hip hop is doing now, the powers that be behind hip hop, they're they are capitalizing off of the gang culture and the gang violence. They are promoting these gangs to get out here and make this gangster music, right? Even when it includes, I killed one of your gang people and I'm smoking a pack. And that type of thing is going to make the gang retaliate.
Yeah.
And this is a real thing because we see it on TV every day. See? So they're providing them with this platform, these record labels. They don't give a damn. All they give a damn about is making money, keeping that incarceration rate going up and the rate of recidivism at an all-time high. Get locked up, come out, go back in. Get locked up, come out, go back in. That's called recidivism. All they care about is that. And they should be made to take some responsibility for providing a platform or a service for these kids to spew that type of evil hate music onto the airwaves. They should be made to take some responsibility. This should be a movement that the older people among us embark on. We start this. Let's step to Congress. Let's step to your borough presidents. However we got to start it, let's start it. Because every day I turn my news on here in the Bronx and somebody's getting killed, man. Every day. Thanksgiving, a kid got blown away due to gang violence. Yesterday, a big shootout in the middle of the street, right down the block from where I live, damn near. You see? Yeah. So we have to. Somebody has to do something.
You said right in the middle. You said right in the middle of the block.
Yeah, a big shootout in broad daylight. The day before that, a 13-year-old kid got shot in the neck on his way to school. All he's doing is going out of his house, going to the train to go to school, and he gets shot in his neck by some, I don't know, deranged guy. They caught the guy, but it's crazy. The Bronx is crazy, man. The Bronx is on fire, and this is because the drill music, they have patterned themselves after Chicago with this drill music in the Bronx more so than anywhere else. The Bronx and Brooklyn, those two boroughs. It's ridiculous, man.
Well, I can speak for down here. You had a dude that got shot the other day. Mm-hmm. He was about 41 years old. So down here in Wilmington, Delaware, we get what comes from Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if it's a drill thing here yet, but I know it's a lot of stupid shit going on around here,
Yeah,
shooting and shit like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So it's basically, man, down south. It's up in Philly, New York. It's all over the daggone country, man.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
it's
This
all
this
over the country, man.
this gang culture is more dangerous now to our people than anything else, and I'm gonna be the one to say it. The gang culture is destroying us, and it's going to continue. You see, those people, the powers that be, the same people that introduced this private prison business to the record people, they know for sure that we are gold, we are their money. Our children are their money. They're going to promote the gang violence because the gang has what? The power to perpetuate crime. The Bloods and the
Mhm.
Crips, even if there's a period where there's a truce between them, no war, no fighting.
Hey,
At any second, it can erupt again. You see what I'm saying? Because that's just the nature of it. One has to be above the other. You see? That's just the nature of it. And now look with the guy who just got killed, young Dolph. Rest in peace. He was a crip. He was a crip, right?
uh, oh
It
yeah,
said it said that they
Yeah,
speculated that the
yeah,
Bloods killed him. He was a
yeah.
crip.
I ain't know that. I ain't know that.
Memphis, Tennessee is on fire now. People are getting killed left and right behind the young Dolph situation. Now, what's not being said is that these are Bloods and Crips killing each other. 14 bodies dropped the last time I looked behind the young Dolph murder. Another one just dropped yesterday.
Yesterday.
That's 15 so
Yeah,
far.
yesterday. That's 15 right there.
Memphis is on fire. Memphis, Tennessee.
So you saying it's about this whole gang thing, right?
Yeah. hmm That's what it's about. And the powers that be, they sit back and they watch and see how they can keep stirring up the beef between the gangs, right? Like I said, the drill music now is what they're promoting because the drill music is the most violent and it promotes these gangs that already got beef in the street. They're giving them contracts on each side, giving them contracts, plenty money and gold chains, and they're bringing that street beef into hip hop. Now, once it goes over the airwaves, and they got sections in different states, it's beef and it's war in other states because messages are being passed on through this music to other members.
Right.
Retaliation is a must. So the powers that be, those secret men that changed the trajectory of hip hop in 1991, or they're eating even more lavishly now by supporting this drill music. You see, you go snatch up what was that guy? FBG Duck, who got beef with Little Dirk in them, and you sign him and give him a whole bunch of money, and you allow him to make a song called "Dead Bitches," and he's talking about how he done killed up the people in Young Dirk's camp, and then you sign King Vaughn, and King Vaughn got beef with FBG Duck, and they're talking about how many people they killed from their camp, and this thing is just going on and on and
So
on and on and
so
on.
so Chicago always been known as Blackstone, GD,
Yeah.
and these other vice lords, right?
hmm
So you don't got no Crips and Bloods there, right?
Mostly GDs and Vice Lords. I believe that's what's out there. It's probably probably some Crips and Blood, but they're
So
not the majority.
so the thing that I'm through my documented research,
Uh huh.
Chicago had always had a gang thing.
They started the
That
gang. LA didn't
that
start it. Chicago started it.
that shit go back to the early 1800s.
Yeah.
But I don't understand.
Hey, DMR, keep talking. I'll be right back.
I
Yeah, good
don't.
DMR. Good
I don't.
DMR.
I don't understand OG about this. In New York, right?
Yeah.
Always set trends. I remember that shit. I don't understand that about NY. Explain that to me, man.
What?
About how the Crips and the Bloods came to NY like that. That's a thing with me. I'm like, what?
Well, look, I'm gonna say this, right? That's not a bad thing neither. It's just you just got some of the wrong brothers, man, in power doing the wrong things because
Right,
I would think by now, you know what I'm saying, both of those armies would put their heads together legitimately and make themselves a brand right
right,
now
right.
because they're worth millions of dollars and they just don't fucking see it. You know what I mean?
Okay, right, right.
And also, what has happened down through the years, so
Crazy.
much killing has taken place that it's deeply rooted. You know what I mean? In the blood, it's deeply rooted, and it just spans throughout every generation. You know, you killed my family.
Right.
I just read in this newspaper that I'm subscribed to 2 days ago in Chicago. A young man got killed at a spot, so they made a memorial for that young man. 2 days after his death, his mother went there to get, light a candle. As she was lighting the candle, they murdered her. She died in the same
What?
What?
spot. She
What?
died in the
What is
same spot as her son.
Ah,
Yes.
his
Uh-huh.
mom got killed?
The mother went down there
Shit.
to she was lighting the candles at the memorial, and they killed her in the same
What?
spot they killed her son in Chicago. Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely so. It's
Yo,
wild out
that's
there,
so
man.
crazy.
It's wild out there, bro. And these brothers don't understand that what they're doing is they're only destroying themselves, and they're
They-
helping these people to destroy us, man.
See, look, man.
No?
Hey, hey, bros. Here's the thing. This whole gang shit. I don't give a fuck if you're New York, Philly, Wilmington, Florida. I don't care where you at.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's so embedded now that they going after each other. But you over here got still. You got the white supremacists. You got the police. You got people that hate us,
Mm-hmm.
and we got our own people fighting against each other.
Yep.
I mean, that's a crazy thing, man.
It is. And see,
but look, this is crazy though.
this is Kensington, Philadelphia.
Philly,
This is Kensington.
Philadelphia, yo, man, look, Philly on some old other shit. I don't know what Philly on.
Mm, this is
Philadelphia is on
Kensington.
some old other shit, bro. It ain't none of that drill shit. I don't that drill music in Philly. It's on some old other shit in
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. This is crazy.
Philadelphia on something else, bro. It ain't that drill music. Nah,
Unbelievable, yo.
Philly.
Unbelievable. But I tell you, man, it's crazy that these brothers need to come together and put their heads together. And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this because I saw something tonight. I respect it from this brother. When y'all get a chance, I want all y'all and everybody watching to check out a channel. There's a brother. He's a gang member, blood member. His name is 050 China Brim. 050 China Brim.
Okay,
Tap him in to YouTube and you'll see his channel.
okay.
Um, I used to be up there with him and Zeke Black used to do their thing in the Zeke Black channel. Hashtag Feed the Wolves. But China Brim is starting a big movement, and people are flocking to his channel. But the main thing about it is this is a gang member that's talking positive. He just said tonight, I don't appreciate being in my gang. You know, I don't encourage my son to be in a gang. I didn't incur anything except trouble, beef, being shot and stabbed. And I tell anybody, don't become a gang member. It's not for you. It's not for anybody. And I respect that. You see, it's the gang members that speak like him that I'll push and I'll promote and I'll listen to and I'll give them praise because they're
Me
talking about
also. That's right.
coming out of a foolish situation. The other ones that are out there talking that nonsense, I don't have an ear for that. You know what I mean? It's self-annihilation. I don't promote self-genocide. And that's what gang violence is. It's self-genocide. These brothers have been duped. They've been tricked into a way of life that is making them kill each other
Right.
and have so much hatred for one another. And they don't see the all-time scheme behind it.
Hmm.
But that's one of the things here that I'm trying to establish on the Hierophant podcast is to always speak truth, man, and try to provide a guiding light for these brothers. Now, just before we close, we got a few minutes. I want to read something. If any of you gang brothers out there, I invite you to pay attention to this channel and to be here and to come visit us here on the Hierophant podcast, because on here we're dedicated to knowledge. We ain't gonna get too much hip hop and all of this nonsense, crazy jumping around, gossip, and talk about who did this. You'll get some of that, but for the main part, we're going to be pushing out information that's pertinent, valuable to our people. And I want to share this with you, gang brothers, that are unfortunately caught up in that way of life, and your eyes haven't opened yet. You see, the powers that be understood your way of life long before you did, and they knew how to corrupt it. And now that they have you brothers corrupted,
Right.
and now, how do you say, taunting you, laughing at you, they sent you a message that I'm pretty sure most of you don't even know about, especially you brothers that are in the prison system. I have the message with me right now, and I'm going to read it to
Right.
you brothers and sisters, especially you gang bangers, because that's who the message is sent to. You first and
Directed to.
foremost,
That's who it's
directed to you.
directed to. That's right.
It's sent to the rest of us black people as well, but your name is the name that the letter is addressed to. Is okay. We got a brother here. Reginald Hines says, "Is the new genocide?" That's right, Reg. The music is the new genocide.
Right.
So let me read
Peace,
this letter.
Reg. Thanks for calling in, brother.
No doubt, brother. Peace, Reg. Let me read this letter, this information that your enemy, our enemy by nature, has wrote to us. Comes from 1975. And unfortunately, when I was doing my prison stint, I ran into this same message. Right? This is from 1975. It's addressed to the gang members of Chicago, specifically. Peace, Reg. No doubt, brother. Peace and love, man. Thanks for checking us out here from podcast. All right. So
Peace, Reg. Thank you,
no
brother.
doubt, I have
Yeah,
this
Reg,
message. I have this message directly to the gang members of Chicago and for the greater gang members all over the country and black people in general. From 1975, I came across this document in the 80s and I saved it. I saved it because it was so important to me, and I taped it in this book of mine right here.
Mhm.
This book is From Columbus to Castro by the great scholar Eric Williams, right?
Right.
I taped
Right.
it here. This message is from the Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan. I want you brothers and sisters to pay attention while I'm reading this. And those of you who see it after this live, you see this, pay attention to this message to you gangbangers from the Ku Klux Klan. It says, the following is a letter placed on the bed of a young African American incarcerated in the Chicago City Jail. The Ku Klux Klan would like to take this time to salute and congratulate all gangbangers for the slaughter of over 4,000 black people since 1975. You are doing a marvelous job. Keep killing each other for nothing. The streets are still not yours, nigga. It is ours. You are killing each other for our property. You are killing what could be future black doctors, lawyers, and businessmen that we won't have to compete with. And the good thing about it is that you are killing the youth. So we won't have to worry about niggers in generations to come. We would further like to thank all the judges who have over sentenced those niggas to prison. We are winning. Pretty soon, we will be able to go back to raping your women because all the men will be gone. So you gangbangers, keep up the good work. We love to read about drive-by shootings. We love to hear how many niggas get killed over the weekends. We can tolerate the niggas jungle fever for now because that will further break down the race. To all gangbangers across the world, we don't love you niggas, but we can appreciate your gangbangers. You are doing a wonderful job in eliminating the black race. Without the men, your women cannot reproduce unless, of course, we do it for them. Then we will have successfully eliminated a race thanks to your help and commitment to killing each other. If most of you nigger gangbangers cannot read this letter, it is okay. Go pull a trigger and kill a nigger.
Hey,
that comes from the Ku Klux
Brother
Klan.
Steve, I gotta say something about that. And I want to say something. When you was talking about the female part,
yes,
you got females on Instagram. And I ain't gonna say anybody's names. You got females that support that.
What do you mean?
Okay. What I mean is you got females that support, they side with the Ku Klux Klan and these kind of people that think like this.
Yeah.
So we have people that look like us that's for that.
Yeah. I understand.
So they don't have to rape nobody. You got willing participants that would be willing to aid these people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no doubt.
at the end of the day, I hate to say this,
Mm-hmm.
even the haters that call your show that talk about me,
Mm-hmm.
these people are supposed to put in a certain position, just like you put rats in a certain position.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You gotta single these people off, man.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
These kind of people have to be dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna have to go to war with our people.
There you go. There
And
you
I
go.
hate to say that. I hate to say it, but
That's
that's
why
the
I
truth.
said that. That's why
Mhm.
I had said, DMR, that it's gonna have to be a cleanup crew.
It's
Yeah,
gonna have to be.
And it's gonna have to be like Spartacus. That's why I
yeah,
said
yeah.
that.
Let me tell you something. It's like Jesus said. He said some of the seed fell down by the wayside. They fell off.
It's sad, man.
Some of us gonna have to fall down by the wayside. We're gonna have to rid ourselves of the undesirables so that the rest of us can move on. And I hate to say it, but if these gangbangers don't wake up, you are going to be from among the undesirables. We better off without you, man. And that's the way I see this going forward. It's sad because they're our people. We love them by virtue that
That's
they
right.
are our people.
That's
But
right.
your behavior is intolerable. It's intolerable, man. You're killing people that look just like you, man, for nothing. And I'm sitting here, we are sitting here showing you the trap that the powers that be have fashioned for you to fall into, and you're still not wising up. You're still falling into the same
You
trap.
see it's set up by the
Yo,
crackhead.
yo,
You
yo,
still
yo,
do it.
yo, yo. It's an issue that you had in Philly, right? A few days ago. I'm going to share this with y'all. This man tracked his wife down
Mm-hmm.
and he shot her in South Philadelphia in broad daylight. He shot her 5 times, bro. It showed it on the news. They didn't show the shooting, but they recorded the shooting, right? The pow, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
This is another aspect that we got to fucking deal with.
Mm-hmm.
You track your wife down in broad daylight. You shot her, man, 5 times. This is adding to the same stuff that we talking about.
Yeah, yeah, indeed,
In
man.
our community, it ain't in the Italian community. It's not in the Irish. It's not in the Jewish.
No.
It's in our community.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
They planted a seed
This
for
shit is
us,
crazy, man.
and that seed has now grown out of control. And it's the only way we're going to get out of this is by our own hand. We have to wake up. Let me show you a prime example, right? Let me show you who this country prioritizes, the people they prioritize. Now, look, the MS-13, the most deadliest Mexican gang ever, right?
Right. Exactly.
As long as the MS-13, as long as the MS-13 is in their neighborhood, destroying shit, right, and killing and selling drugs, they can go by with just normal police presence, right? Nobody do nothing too tough. But a few years ago, the MS-13 went out into Suffolk County and Essex County, way deep out in Long Island, and they brought their shenanigans there, where they murdered some white girls, some teenage girls. They cut them up and murdered them.
What? Really?
Yeah, they were taken care of overnight. Overnight, the president issued serious forces, police forces similar to the military, to go out in Sussex and Essex County to dismantle MS-13, because now you're bringing your shenanigans here on the white people in this white neighborhood. See, the white people matter. We will get at you. We will destroy you if you come and you infringe upon our territory where the good old whites live. You do it where you live at, it's okay. See, it's all right for you to kill and chop up people and do what you do.
Hey, brother, I never heard of that before.
Check it out. Look it up. Check it out.
I heard of that.
Do you understand what I'm telling you? As long as you doing the issue where you live at, where the blacks and the Spanish are, and y'all tearing up y'all neighborhoods, we'll just have regular police presence there. But you come on our side of the tracks with that, we're gonna deal with you immediately. So this tells you the people who the people they value in this country, who they value. They don't value us, so it has to be up to us to value ourselves.
Exactly.
And this is what we're trying to put out there for these young brothers, man.
That's right, Steve. That's
You
right.
dudes ain't doing nothing but helping to destroy our race. You're helping these
Bro,
racist whites to
bro,
destroy us, man. That's
I've
all
been
y'all doing,
saying
man.
that. I've been saying that to cats I know, right? For the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And I got guys that's in the right Nation of Islam, right?
Yeah.
And they be talking about the white man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. But we gotta deal with the shit that's in our community first.
First and foremost.
And then we gotta handle that.
First and foremost, we have to
Right.
deal with problems in our own community before we could think about anything else. That's
But
a fact.
That's before we
our
can move
problem
forward. That's
is
right.
our problem is we gotta start dealing with the shit that's in our circumference.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Caucasian don't got to deal with anything else because he knows his
Yeah.
shit is sacred. Yo, you fuck with us, it's a problem.
It's a problem.
Callers, please call in. Power Fat Podcast, please call in.
With your
Remember to hit
feedback,
the thumbs
we'll
up.
appreciate it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Steve and like OG, man. Y'all right, man. Yo, y'all
We have to
1,000% right on everything
we
y'all
have to
say,
clean
man.
house, man. We have to clean house, and we have to get a movement started to do that. And I suggest there's a new Black Panther Party being formed, man. There's a new Black Panther Party being formed by one of the associates. He used to be with the late great Khalid Muhammad. He's a
Okay.
lawyer. I forgot his name. He was up here just a little while ago in the Bronx, and they were stepping to the gang brothers, trying to get them to come on into the new nation, of Black Panther, and
Right.
get this thing together. And I think that would be a good way for us to go down, a good road for us to go down, because we need that. We need discipline, man. And a lot of young brothers responded. A lot of young gang members.
Okay.
It's Zulu Sabash, I think that's his name. But a lot of young brothers responded to that
Right, that's good.
Black Panther
Right.
calling. So, and just in terms of getting something started, maybe that would be the way for us to look into, try to join a chapter of that, not based on racist principles. I don't believe in racism.
No,
I'm not racist
no,
against anybody, white, black, red,
no.
green, but I do
Right. We're just
recognize a
talking in
race.
general.
Yeah,
Right.
I do recognize a racist element. When I see a racist person, I'll call a spade a spade. I hate racism and I hate racist people. So I do recognize that there are racist whites, and these are the people that we have to deal with. But before we can deal with anyone, we have to clean house. These gang guys, you guys got to wake up. You gang members, you have to wake up and stop this nonsense, man. Stop killing each other. You have to wake up, man. If not, you're going to be in a bad situation, man. You're going to be in jail for the rest of your life or dead. And you're weakening us as a race of people. You guys have to wake up. When you see this video, go back over the part where I read the letter. Listen to what the enemy, the real enemy proper, is saying to you, not the enemy you
Right.
think that's across the building with a red bandana or a blue
Or
bandana.
down a
That's
block,
not
or
your
you know what
enemy,
I
bro.
mean?
That's
See,
not your enemy.
but Steven and like OG, we can understand it because all of us are about the same age, right?
Yeah.
Around that age bracket.
We're exactly the same age. That's funny. You 50,
We
OG will
can
be 50, I'll be 50. Yeah, that's right. That's
we
funny.
can kind of understand now. Again, y'all got
Mhm.
more. Y'all done served time in the thing, and I haven't served no time, so I'm
Mhm.
not gonna fake the phone. I haven't,
Yeah.
but I'm from the street. I didn't get caught and things happen. Okay,
Mhm.
but no matter if you down south or up north or out west or whatever, man, we all black. We all got the same enemies.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
They
it.
all white. I mean, not all white, excuse me,
Mhm.
but they're white. You know, the
The
folks up
racist
top,
whites. The racist
and
whites.
right.
Yeah.
So we can all relate to that shit.
Mhm.
You
Calm
see what I'm
down,
saying?
T. Calm down.
No, I'm cool. I'm cool, bro. I'm cool.
You know, we can
Real
all.
cool.
OG can relate to me. I can relate to him. Steve,
Yeah.
I can relate to you.
Yeah.
Liz, I can relate to her. You
Shout
see what I'm
out to my
saying?
co-host Liz. Shout out Liz.
Shout out to Liz, who's not here
Yo,
tonight.
what's up, Liz?
She probably did. She
We
probably
miss
tried
you,
to
Liz.
save
We love
herself.
you.
You know what I'm saying, bro? So yeah, man. I shit. I feel y'all. You know,
Yeah, man. Yeah, we got to do better, man. The first step in this whole process is reconstruction of our thinking. And I suggest to you, brothers and sisters, man, start reading your history, man. Start slow. Matter of fact, here's a great book to read: From Columbus to Castro: The History of the
Oh, no.
Caribbean. This is by the late great Dr. Eric Williams, man. This is a great book for you to study, to begin to read if you want to learn about slavery and how it got started in the New World. You know what I mean? How our people were brought over on chains. If you want to learn about the Spanish and the Portuguese kingdoms who first went into Africa and discovered the New World, Christopher Columbus stumbling upon the New World, the bringing of the black slaves over in the ships and the slave camps and the cotton and
how they tricked
tobacco,
us to come over here to
all
make it
stuff,
think
man.
that's right.
This is a great book for you to begin to study that history. This is excellent. Please, anybody that can and that gives a damn, go out and snatch it up, man. From Columbus to Castro: The History of the Caribbean. Excellent book by late great Eric Williams, Dr. Eric Williams. All
Real
right,
talk, baby.
no
Real
doubt, no
talk.
doubt.
Real talk.
But yeah,
Harold Font.
Harold Font
Harold
podcast,
Font.
man. Please, everybody that's in here now, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. Become a subscriber here. Please hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we put up when we put up pre-recorded videos or go live. Please hit the notification bell and please hit the thumbs up. Please hit the like button for us, y'all. All right, because we're going to be coming back here with serious subjects and topics like this. I'm looking for people to get involved in this channel so that we can set up a dialogue and have discourse about what's happening with us, our black people. I don't just want to report on tragedies that happen among us, like unfortunately our Pope killing and things of that nature. I don't want to just report on those topics and hip hop subjects. I want to talk about our history. I want to talk about where we are today and how we're going to move forward as a
You
people
want to get to know you,
correct
people.
ourselves. So please, I invite you to join this panel, join this podcast. Anyone of age that is looking for real discourse and real talk that is based on intelligent subjects and intelligent issues based on our people, subscribe here, man. Join us. All right, we'll be
Right.
here. We'll be here.
Also, if you need to get something out, birthday, someone passed away, something on your mind, call in. Let us know. We'll
Yes,
help you
call
out.
in. Also, what we want to do up here, brothers and sisters who are watching, you people of color, black people and people of color, if you have anyone in your family that has graduated from high school or college, right? Dial us up, man. Call my number. It's on the screen. We want to shout them out here. We want to say congratulations to our high
Yes.
school graduates, our junior
Yes.
high school graduates, our high school graduates, our college graduates. We want to let you know that we appreciate you. We appreciate you staying away from the street and the allure of the streets, and you fighting that to make it to where you are now. And you have graduated from high school and college. We want to
That's right.
celebrate you.
That's
So
right.
parents
That's
out
right.
there,
That's
if
right.
you have any graduates in your family,
Give us a
please call
call.
my number 347-595-9134 so we can shout you out here on the Hierophant podcast and congratulate you. All right. Please, brothers and sisters, do that. Do that. All right. So we're gonna get ready to tie this thing up here and pack this show up for the night. Hey man, DMR, we appreciate you, man. Goddamn,
Brothers,
I love it
I
when you're here,
thank
man.
you, Brother
I love
Steve
it when you're here.
OG.
As
You already
always, this
know.
was
I
yo.
love
This
y'all, brothers. Look,
Love is
hey
love, bro.
Steve,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna probably go up there soon because I gotta get with my man up there. But if I'm up there, I might hit you up. Us can go eat somewhere and talk.
Yeah, for sure, man. We all
Okay,
three of us
so
meet up.
Yeah.
I'll let y'all
We
know.
just gotta set it up. Know what I mean?
Yeah, let us
I'll
know
let y'all
ahead of
know
time.
though. You know
Hey,
what I'm
Let us know
saying?
ahead
hey,
of
look,
time.
I'm just saying because you know we can't move around like regular people now, so we gotta be on schedule, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, right.
Yeah. No doubt. All right. Well, I'm moving around,
Okay,
bro.
OG,
I got that
Steve,
Malcolm. I got that Malcolm
bro-
X energy, man. I got that. If you gonna
brothers.
kill
I
me, kill
thank
me, bro.
y'all. I love
Yeah.
y'all, brothers.
Hey
I'm going
man,
Yeah.
you
out
better
righteously
stop
though.
drinking. You better stop drinking that juice before the show.
No, I'm serious, man. I'm going out on a righteous note. I'm going out like Malcolm, bro. That's how I'm going. If you're gonna kill me for speaking truth, hey,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I go to my maker. You gonna release me from this
Yeah.
hell I'm in already. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Nah, but I'm only joking. But seriously, yeah, man. If you come up DMR, let us know in advance, man, and we'll make the right arrangements and we get together, go sit down, have something
Okay,
to eat and discuss things. All
sure.
right.
No problem.
No doubt,
Okay.
brother. No doubt, man.
Okay.
Hey
So
yo, man, this is really good tonight, man. I liked this, man.
yeah, no doubt,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Definitely
Yes,
a good
sir.
thing, man. Definitely a good
I
thing.
love it, man.
Yeah, we
No
held
doubt,
it
Another
man.
down
fellowship.
too. We held it down.
For sure, man. For sure. The Hierophant Podcast, y'all. Please join us. Give us a
Love
second
y'all. Good
as I
night.
put up
Your boy OG Reynolds.
no doubt.
All right,
As,
OG,
All
Steve,
right, baby.
brother Steve, peace,
Love
peace
you,
and
y'all.
love, man.
Lauren.
See you the
All
next
right,
time, brother.
all right,
Peace.
G, all right, Steve, all right.
Peace. Yeah.
Love you,
So OG,
Corinne.
man,
Cousin Denise.
hang out for a little while as we put our little logo up.
All right.
No
I got
doubt.
you.
All right, OG, we out of here, man.
Yeah, baby.
All right, man.
Hey
I'll hit you up
man,
later on.
that was that was real good, man. I like
Yeah,
that. Real
no doubt,
interesting.
brother. No doubt. That's what we do, man. That's what we do. You know what I mean?
Well,
And we're gonna always be here to provide this that type of information to our people, man. You know what I
yeah.
mean? That's just it, bro.
Unfortunately, Liz and
And Keisha
Keisha
couldn't make
couldn't
it
be here,
tonight.
but we held it down. We held it down. We held it down.
Yeah, they'll be back. They'll be back. So let's get out of here. We still live, brother. We'll get on out of here, man. I'll hit you up behind the scenes, all right?
All right, love you, bro. Peace.
Love is love, brother. Peace and love.
Yep.
Good night,
Peace.
everybody. Peace.
Yep.